He was a quiet boy, burdened by a severe stutter that trapped his words in his throat. He found safety only in the cold, rigid laws of science and mathematics. But by stepping onto a stage and choosing to remain completely silent, he conquered the world. Welcome to Learning English with Rassa.
Our story begins in the winter of 1955 in Consett, a quiet, rural town in northern England. Rowan Sebastian Atkinson was born into a hardworking farming family. His dad balanced the demanding duties of a farm with his work as a serious company director. And growing up in this environment, Rowan was an incredibly introverted kid. A severe stutter made everyday conversation an absolutely agonizing challenge. Speaking up in class, talking to strangers, or even just casual chats with his three older brothers were filled with awkward, halting moments. Because of this, Rowan often just withdrew into himself. Yet, behind his quiet, innocent exterior, his mind was exceptionally sharp. Where human language completely failed him, he found immense comfort and order in the logical, predictable world of science and mathematics. Equations didn't stutter, physics didn't judge him.
Driven by this deep love for logic, he pursued his education with intense dedication. By 1975, he'd earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Electrical and Electronic Engineering from Newcastle University. But his academic journey was far from over. He soon arrived at the highly prestigious Oxford University to begin a Master of Science in Electrical Engineering. To anyone looking from the outside, Rowan was a serious, highly technical student who approached life with absolute precision. However, it was at Oxford that a profound shift actually occurred. Looking for a creative outlet, he decided to join the Oxford University Dramatic Society. And there, amidst the old stone buildings and theatrical rehearsals, he met a young writer named Richard Curtis. You see, the university environment was about to act as a catalyst for a talent he never even knew he possessed.
One afternoon, Rowan was experimenting with a character sketch. He stepped onto the stage, contorted his face into a bizarre, elastic expression, and adopted an entirely new physical persona. And in that exact moment, something miraculous happened. The stutter that had haunted his entire childhood completely vanished. It was as if this physical mask, this rubber face, completely bypassed the fearful, stuttering part of his brain. By pretending to be someone else, he finally found true fluency. Inspired by the visual comedy of the great French performer Jacques Tati, Rowan began to rely on his face and body rather than his voice. He realized that his distinctive facial expressions, which he was actually sometimes teased for as a kid, could be used to amplify a joke without speaking a single word.
A decade later, after massive success in British television, Rowan wanted to create a character that absolutely anyone in the world could understand. So, in 1990, applying the mathematical precision of an engineer, he and Richard Curtis introduced Mr. Bean. Bean was designed as a child in a man's body, selfish, socially confused, yet totally innocent. He lived in a chaotic world of his own making, accompanied only by his knitted teddy bear and his highly recognizable green minicar. Because Mr. Bean rarely spoke, the comedy was completely universal. A child in India and a grandmother in America could laugh at the exact same physical joke. The awkwardness of human behavior became a language that required zero translation, turning Mr. Bean into an iconic figure broadcast in over 190 countries.
But the man behind the machine is a fascinating contrast to his famous character. In his private life, Rowan Atkinson is calm, intellectual, and deeply passionate about engineering. He even holds a heavy truck driving license, which was just a practical backup plan from his early acting days. He loves the speed and mechanics of high-performance cars. In 2013, he was honored with a CBE for his services to drama and charity. Today, his legacy extends way beyond physical comedy. He's actually become one of the United Kingdom's most vocal and articulate defenders of free speech, arguing passionately for the right of artists to speak freely. The boy who could barely speak a sentence without stuttering became the silent master of comedy and ultimately a powerful voice for expression.
Now, let's shift our focus to the language used in this story. Listen closely to these words as they hold great power. Our first word is catalyst. Catalyst, a noun. A catalyst is an event or a person that causes great change quickly. This word comes to us directly from chemistry, where a catalyst is a substance that speeds up a chemical reaction without being consumed itself. When we use it in everyday English, we're talking about the spark that creates a massive transformation. Pay attention to the difference between a stimulus and a catalyst. A stimulus gives you a general push, like an alarm clock waking you up. But a catalyst sparks a total, permanent transformation, like a life-changing event. Let's look at how this word functions in these 3 sentences.
1. The university environment acted as a catalyst for his hidden talents. 2. A good teacher can be a catalyst for a student's success. 3. The new software was a catalyst for the company's rapid growth. In sentence 1, Oxford University wasn't just a place Rowan visited. It fundamentally changed his trajectory. It sparked his acting career. Similarly, a teacher or new software doesn't just exist in the background. They trigger dramatic, rapid advancement. In your conversations, using catalyst instead of reason or cause really elevates your English. It shows you understand that the change was dramatic and fast.
Our second word is precision. Precision, a noun. Notice the soft Z sound in the middle, precision. Precision is the quality of being exact, accurate, and careful. The etymology is fascinating. It comes from the Latin praesisio, meaning a cutting off, implying you've cut away all the excess to leave only what is exactly needed. It's very important to distinguish precision from accuracy. If you throw 5 darts and they all hit the bullseye, you're accurate. But if you throw 5 darts and they all hit the exact same spot on the wall, even if it's the wrong spot, you have high precision. Precision is all about exactness and repeatability. Listen to how precision is used in context. 1. He approached comedy with the mathematical precision of an engineer. 2. The surgeon performed the operation with incredible precision. 3. High-performance cars require absolute precision to build. In Rowan's story, his comedy looks chaotic and messy to the audience, but behind the scenes, he is calculating exactly when to blink, when to trip, and when to look at the camera. That is true precision. When you use this word, you're emphasizing absolute control and careful attention to detail. Word number 3 is distinctive. Distinctive, an adjective. Make sure to clearly pronounce that CT consonant cluster in the middle. Distinctive. It means having a special quality or appearance that makes something easy to recognize. It comes from the Latin distinctivus, meaning distinguishing. Now, learners often confuse this with the word unique. If something is unique, it means there is literally only one of them in the entire world. But if something is distinctive, there might be many of them, but its specific features make it instantly recognizable and different from the rest of the group. 1. Mr. Bean drove a distinctive green minicar. 2. She has a distinctive voice that is perfect for radio. 3. The city's architecture is highly distinctive. There are millions of cars in the world, and many green cars, but Mr. Bean's specific lime green Mini with a black hood is distinctive. You see it, and you immediately know exactly who it belongs to. Use this word when you want to describe a trait that helps a character, a person, or a brand stand out globally in a crowded space.
Moving on to our fourth word, chaotic. Chaotic, an adjective. Pay very close attention to the pronunciation here. Even though it starts with a CH, we use a hard K sound. Chaotic. Chaotic means in a state of complete confusion and lack of order. It originates from the ancient Greek word chaos, meaning a vast chasm or a dark void before the universe was formed. There's a strong distinction between being messy and being chaotic. A teenager's bedroom might be messy with clothes on the floor, but it's not chaotic unless things are flying around, people are yelling, and there is total unpredictability and rapid action. 1. Mr. Bean created chaotic situations out of normal, everyday tasks. 2. The classroom became chaotic when the teacher stepped out. 3. The traffic in the city center is always chaotic on Fridays. Mr. Bean doesn't just make a mess. He turns a simple trip to the dentist or drive to church into a wildly unpredictable, high-energy disaster. That is what makes his environment chaotic. Using this word perfectly conveys motion, noise, and a complete breakdown of normal rules.
Our fifth word is awkward. Awkward, an adjective. Notice the spelling with the 2 W's and the pronunciation, awkward. It means making you feel embarrassed, nervous, or clumsy. It traces back to the Old Norse word ofugur, which literally meant turned backward. I want you to understand the subtle difference between clumsy and awkward. Clumsy is purely physical, like you drop a glass or you trip on a rug. Awkward can be physical, like a strange way of walking, but it's deeply social. It's that uncomfortable feeling in your stomach when someone says the wrong thing at a dinner party. 1. Rowan turned his natural awkwardness into a brilliant form of art. 2. There was an awkward silence when he forgot his lines. 3. He felt awkward at the party because he didn't know anyone. Rowan Atkinson took that internal, turned backward feeling of not knowing how to speak or act around others, and he amplified it for the camera. He used social discomfort as a comedic tool rather than letting it remain a weakness. When you use awkward, you're describing a feeling of not fitting in smoothly with the environment. Word number 6 is innocent. Innocent. An adjective? It describes someone having no knowledge of the complex or evil things in life, someone who is pure. It stems from the Latin innocentem, which translates directly to not harming. For learners, it's vital to contrast innocent with naive. If you call someone naive, you're mildly criticizing them for a foolish lack of experience. But if you call them innocent, it carries a very positive, warm nuance. It implies a pure, childlike state absolutely free of malice or bad intentions. 1. Under his strange behavior, Mr. Bean was completely innocent. 2. The child gave an innocent smile that melted their hearts. 3. It was an innocent mistake, not a deliberate rule break. Mr. Bean destroys things and causes chaos, which could easily make him a villain. But because he does it without any desire to hurt anyone, because he's completely innocent, the audience loves him instead of finding him annoying. It's the purity of his intentions that saves the character. 7th on our list is universal. Universal, an adjective, meaning existing everywhere or involving everyone. It comes from the Latin universalis, meaning belonging to the whole. Let's make a clear distinction here. A lot of things are common, meaning they happen frequently or in many places. Eating rice is common. But universal elevates an idea. It means it applies to absolutely everyone, everywhere, across all borders. The need for oxygen is universal. 1. Physical comedy is a universal language that everyone understands. 2. The desire for a safe home is a universal human feeling. 3. Music is often described as the universal language of mankind. Rowan Atkinson intentionally avoided British-specific jokes. A joke about a London politician is not universal, but a joke about trying to stay awake in a boring church service? That transcends language and geography. When you use universal, you are connecting all of humanity under one shared experience. Our 8th word is iconic. Iconic, an adjective. This means very famous and popular, but specifically because it represents a particular idea, time, or culture. It comes from the Greek icon, meaning a likeness or an image. The difference between famous and iconic is massive. A viral internet video is famous. Millions of people have seen it today, but they'll completely forget it tomorrow. The Statue of Liberty is iconic. It doesn't just have viewers, it represents the entire concept of freedom and an entire city. 1. His knitted teddy bear became an iconic television prop. 2. The Eiffel Tower is an iconic symbol of Paris. 3. The 1960s produced many iconic rock bands. A simple brown knitted teddy bear with button eyes is really just a toy, but because of its strong association with Mr. Bean, it became a symbol of the show's innocent humor recognized all over the globe. That is exactly how an ordinary object elevates to become iconic. Word number 9 is amplify. Amplify, a verb. To amplify means to make something louder, stronger, or more noticeable. The origin is the Latin amplificare, meaning to enlarge. Think about this word in the context of electrical engineering, which was Rowan Atkinson's field of study. You increase your savings in a bank account, but you amplify a signal, a sound, or a specific personality trait. It's about taking something that is already there and dialing up the intensity so everyone can perceive it. 1. He didn't hide his uniqueness, he used comedy to amplify it. 2. The microphone will amplify your voice so the crowd can hear. 3. The news statistics amplify the need for better healthcare. Rowan Atkinson naturally had a very expressive, somewhat unusual face. Instead of trying to look normal and hiding it, he used his stage persona to amplify his physical expressions, turning a potential insecurity into a comedic superpower. And our final word is legacy. Legacy, a noun. Pay attention to the soft, gentle G sound, leg-ca-cy. A legacy is something handed down from the past, or the way someone is remembered after they're gone. It originates from the Latin legatus, meaning an ambassador or envoy sent to deliver a message. When we talk about what we leave behind, an inheritance is usually tangible, like money, a house, or property. But a legacy is the lasting cultural, intellectual, or emotional impact a person leaves on the world. 1. Rowan Atkinson's legacy goes far beyond a single funny character. 2. The scientist left a legacy of discoveries that changed medicine. 3. Building a strong legacy takes a lifetime of discipline. Atkinson will undoubtedly be remembered for making the whole world laugh. But his legacy is much richer than that. It includes his absolute mastery of physical performance, his discipline, and his ongoing, serious defense of free speech. A person's legacy is the total sum of their life's work and beliefs.
Let's review these powerful words and firmly connect them back to our story. A catalyst is the spark of rapid change. For Rowan, the Oxford Theatre served as the catalyst that unlocked his true voice. Precision means exactness. It was his brilliant engineering precision that made his comedy timing so flawless. Distinctive means easily recognized, much like his highly distinctive bright green minicar that audiences loved. Chaotic is being completely disorganized. This perfectly describes the absolute mess Mr. Bean creates out of the simplest daily tasks. And awkward refers to being socially clumsy. Rowan brilliantly used his own natural awkwardness as a foundation for his art.
Continuing our review, innocent means pure and childlike. Mr. Bean is loved because beneath all the trouble he causes, he has a complete lack of malice. Universal means understood everywhere. By removing dialogue, Atkinson created a comedy requiring no language, understood by absolutely all. Iconic describes something culturally representative, like his legendary brown teddy bear. Amplify means to make stronger. He chose to amplify his unique facial expressions rather than hide them. And finally, legacy is one's lasting impact. Rowan Atkinson's legacy includes not just laughter, but his continued passionate defense of free speech. As we draw lessons from Rowan Atkinson's incredible journey, there's one English idiom that perfectly summarizes his life's work, and that is, actions speak louder than words. This idiom means that what someone actually does is much more important and reveals way more about their true character than what they simply say. In Rowan's case, this idiom takes on a brilliant literal meaning. Words, like dialogue, scripts, and complex speeches, can often divide us by geography and language barriers. But actions, like physical comedy, a confused look, or an innocent smile, speak a universal language. Mr. Bean conquered over 190 countries without a script, proving to the world that actions truly do speak louder than words.
Let's look at how you can use this idiom in your daily life. You promise to study English every day, but actions speak louder than words. Or, the company says they care about the environment, but their actions speak louder than words. It's a really powerful phrase to gently point out the difference between intent and reality. Here is my challenge to you. Observe someone in your life today. It could be a friend, a colleague, or even a politician on television. Do not just listen to what they say. Watch what they do. See if their actions truly match their words.
We leave you with this final thought. Rowan Atkinson was a boy who could barely speak a sentence without a severe stutter. Yet, he took that very silence and built a character who didn't need to speak at all to make a billions laugh. If a severe stutter could become the foundation of global silent comedy, what perceived weakness are you hiding today that could become your greatest strength tomorrow? Believe in your difference and work on your craft. If you enjoyed this story and want to continue improving your English, please join our vibrant community at @FluentMind on Telegram. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.